I know y'all seen the news a while back that you can now use buy now, pay later for DoorDash. If you're using buy now, pay later for DoorDash, you don't even need it in the first place. What are you doing putting a down payment on a Popeye's chicken sandwich, bro? But today, we got buy now, pay later trap by, I don't know how do you say that? Sarah Nicole? Either way, y'all go check out her video, give it a like. Somebody said in my comments in one of my videos that like I need to start tagging the video and all that. So I'm gonna try to copy the link, put this shit in the comments for y'all that actually want to see the original video. And if you fuck with me, bro, leave a like, subscribe. Let's get into it.
Corey, how do you always look so bougie? How do you always look so nice when you're on a budget? Let me tell you my secret. Credit card debt, Afterpay, Klarna. Is it the most financial?
Now I am in a little credit card debt because back when I moved into my my apartment back in November, my computer's loud as shit. Hold on. There has to be something I can do to turn that fan off. Alright, like I was saying, back when I moved into my apartment, I had to buy a whole bunch of shit, bro. I had to buy a couch. I had to buy a table. I also, like, Black Friday, I moved in on Black Friday, too, so I bought a gaming laptop. I bought an Elgato to record gameplays. I bought so much shit. I even bought a camera, but that ain't the camera I'm using right now. It's a camera that I sold to buy this camera, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, bruh, like, the world's getting expensive. Everything comes with a price, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But to me, buy now, pay later is something I would never do because you just never know your circumstances later in the month, the next month. The only thing I can see a buy now, pay later is kind of like a car. You know what I'm saying? Because you can make money with a car gets you to your job, car can take you to a next city over. You don't have to wait for transportation, Ubers, you know what I'm saying?
Financially responsible? No, but that's okay because the debt will disappear someday.
So imagine this. You are out to dinner, the check comes, and the waiter mentions that instead of paying for your $50 meal all at once right now, you could instead finance your meal by paying in $5, $10 installments over the next few months. What do you say? Do you do it?
No.
The question sounds bizarre, and yet this is not some hypothetical.
Side note, she's very beautiful. She's very beautiful. I don't mean that like no weirdo way. She's just very pretty.
You can actually do this. Yeah, in the past, financing was reserved for big ticket items like a home or a car, both things that I've talked about in recent videos on being house poor and car poor. But these days, you can literally finance your lunch at a restaurant or your DoorDash drinks. That is right, as of this month with the new Klarna and DoorDash deal, people are literally out here financing their $15 pizzas and their $20 sushi takeout dinners through what's known as buy now, pay later. It's insane to think about, but the trend of buy now, pay later is hotter than ever. 1 out of 5 US consumers have used buy now, pay later, with millennials at the highest usage rate. According to Statista, 56%.
Back when I used to work my retail job back at H&M, there was a lot of buy now, pay laters. I would see people use Klarna, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like, to me, if you gotta use buy now, pay later to buy something that really ain't important, like bills, utilities, food, actual food, not, fast food, you shouldn't be using it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Over half of millennials have used buy now, pay later for a purchase, and 49% of Gen Z have done the same.
Could you imagine given the opportunity to default on a loan on a Chipotle burrito in 2025?
You watching this right now might have used buy now, pay later before, or at the very least, you've seen it when shopping. It seemingly is this way to spend less money, at least in the moment. Yeah, you'll have some future payments, but the payments are small and they're interest-free. Plus, it would be nice to spread out the cost so that you can wait for your next paycheck or two. All around, seems like a win. But as good as this sounds, this video would not be made if it was all good news, you know? Unsurprisingly, there is a whole lot more to this story. So in today's video, let's talk about the good and the bad of buy now, pay later, the psychology behind why we are so tempted by it, and the smart ways that you can successfully use buy now, pay later without falling into a debt trap. But first, a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Strawberry.me, for supporting this channel. Their whole belief is that personal coaching should be accessible to everyone, and I actually started with ambition and challenges. It's a whole thing, and it's something that I was sponsoring today's video. So like we mentioned before, on the surface, buy now, pay later doesn't sound like a completely bad idea. Interestingly, it stems from a much older idea from the early 1900s called a layaway program. With layaway programs, a customer could reserve a big ticket item like a piano, put a deposit down, and then pay off the item in installments over a set time. Once the final payment was paid, then the customer could pick up their reserved item. Layaway programs like today's buy now, pay later were designed for people on a budget, letting them break up payments instead of paying a lump sum up front. But here is the big difference between the two. With a layaway program, you only get to pick up your item once you've paid off the entire thing. Before that, it's just being reserved for you. But with buy now, pay later, you get whatever you want to buy immediately. There's literally no waiting or saving for it. That is part of the psychological draw that lures us in. Instant gratification. Our brains prefer to have a reward now rather than wait for some unknown future moment. That instant gratification of impulsively buying something online gives us a dopamine rush that our brains crave. Now, you might not know where that money's gonna come from to pay off the purchase.
I don't know, bruh. Anybody watching this video, do y'all actually use buy now, pay later? Like, I don't know. The type of person I am, I've always been like the type of person where, like, you never know what your future situation's ever going to be like. Like, let's say, for example, I would not use the buy now, pay later because what if the next day I get fired and then I can't pay my bills for the month? I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with, like, owing money unless it's like the only reasonable exceptions is like something that's gonna like protect you or earn you more money, like a car. You know what I'm saying? If I get fired from my job, I don't mind paying my fucking insurance and car payments because I can drive and get a new job, or I can make money with my car, like using Uber Eats, DoorDash or something. You know what I'm saying? But for like clothes, nah.
But it doesn't matter. You still get to take it home. The payments are for future you to worry about. And that right there is the problem. I came across this story of a 26-year-old who fell into $4,000 of debt from using buy now, pay later platforms like Klarna and VeryPay to fuel her shopping addiction. And this quote of hers stood out to me. Quote, "It feels like free money and makes it so much easier to buy something." Part of why I think this is because buy now, pay later schemes are letting us finance smaller and smaller purchases. Like that burrito clip that I showed you earlier, there are really people out here financing $11 Chipotle burritos. For reference, the average buy now, pay later transaction size is only $135. And my guess is that as this trend gets more popular, the average amount is only going to get smaller. If you think about it, buy now, pay later structure works a lot like a mortgage for a house. You pay in installments over time, and in some ways, it's even better than a mortgage because if you pay on time, there's no interest. That said, at least with a house, you are financing something that, for one, has a good chance of appreciating in value over time, and two, you feel the weight of that responsibility. But with buy now, pay later, it's the same structure applied to stuff that loses value fast. Clothing hauls, a new laptop, tomorrow's food. Spoiler, the food that you eat is not appreciating in value after you eat it. Unless you have a very weird, very rich secret admirer with a unique proclivity and you yourself have a very open mind. And maybe some plastic bags. Please do not think about that joke too deeply. Anyways, because these kinds of purchases feel small, we brush them off until all those little payments turn into real debt.
One thing I really think that schools should start doing is like when I went through school, we had a financial education class. We had one in 6th grade and we had one in high school. I took mine my senior year of high school and I learned so much. I learned about the interest rates, credit card debts, shit to avoid, you know, just shit to look out for. And I really feel like that class should be pushed more. I would honestly say that class is more useful than a history class, because I mean, like, dude, after middle school, why are we still learning about World War II, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, because they're not going to tell you all the facts anyways. Most of the historical information we know now is all from the internet. You know what I'm saying? Documents or stories from people in the past. Like, they're not going to teach us the dark side of history anyways. You're going to have to learn that shit yourself. They don't teach you that in school. Financial literacy right now is more important than history. After middle school. I'm not saying history ain't important at all, because definitely is all the way up to middle school. And then like high school, we need to start learning shit that's actually going to help us move forward. You know what I'm saying?
I was just shocked on how much I was adding to the cart. But I'm officially going to be free from them tomorrow after I pay this $340.
Now, before I fully roast the cons of buy now, pay later, it wouldn't be fair to not include what's actually pretty good about them. Like the fact that it really is convenient for budgeting if you use it responsibly. By spreading a payment into equal, smaller installments, you can avoid big cash flow hits to your bank account all at once. Especially for bigger but necessary purchases like a new mattress or a laptop for school. Personally, I think it's better to just pay something all at once if you can, because I truly believe in that idea of don't buy something unless you can afford it twice, and treat things like credit cards or platforms like Klarna and Afterpay as if they're debit cards, not free money. Another good thing about buy now, pay later schemes is that they are interest free if you pay on time. That is one of their most enticing selling points. The problem is the insane interest rates that hit if you don't pay on time.
I wonder what they are.
More on that later. A couple more good things about buy now, pay later schemes. One is that it's much more accessible to those who have poor credit scores. Basically, if you have a bad credit score, it can be sometimes tricky to get approved for credit cards, but buy now, pay later platforms are usually a lot less strict. Now, that can be good in a sense because it can make financing more accessible, but also you could argue that it's actually just evidence of how buy now, pay later schemes are preying on those who already have a history of struggling to repay on time. The creator, That's My Boy Jacob,
I don't know. I feel like everything comes with a cost, bro. Everything comes with a cost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is a good idea in retrospect. Like, the buy now, pay later is a good idea, but, you know, it isn't the responsibility of them to, I wouldn't say they're praying, but it ain't the responsibility to, like, other people's, like, you know, their addictions and because they can't stop buying shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta tell yourself no. Like, I understand addictions to certain things that like actually get you addicted, but like the rest are like dopamine boosters. Like, nobody's really addicted. If you lock a person addicted to shopping in a room for like 2 days, they're not gonna fucking die because they can't go shopping for 2 days, bro. If you lock someone with like a drug addiction in a room for 2 days, they might die because, you know, it's in their system for so long and they're starting to have withdrawals and season out and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that can kill somebody. Not, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, I advise you to go check out her video. You know, it's longer. She explains the shit better. You know, credit to your original artist. Plus, I want to know your thoughts on like what you think about the whole buy now, pay later thing. I think it's crazy. For DoorDash, I think it's fucking crazy. I get buy now, pay later for like stuff like cameras, electronics, new phones, cars, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I love you guys. Peace.